Also tonight, new reporting on a 10 on your side investigation into the shooting of a police officer by a colleague.
We've been following this story for several months now. 24-year-old Michael Rusk is accused of shooting his sergeant after a dispute outside a bar in Williamsburg. And now that sergeant is the focus of an internal investigation. And the James City County Police Department's under the microscope, too. Investigative reporter Julie Millay joins us tonight with this major update. Julie?
Tom, we've learned that Sergeant Christopher Gibson was put on paid administrative leave following the story we aired last month. Now, you'll remember that story shared a side of the investigation the public had yet to hear. That Officer Rusk allegedly shot Gibson after a year of fighting off unwanted sexual advances from him. In the course of investigating the story, we learned more about morale and workplace issues inside James City County Police Department.
I pulled a gun on him and he's advancing on me.
This is the 911 call Officer Michael Rusk made after allegedly shooting and hurting his superior officer, Sergeant Christopher Gibson, which 10 on Your Side aired exclusively last month.
I'm trying to save his life.
My son wasn't acting in malice.
Jason Rusk, the father of the officer accused of shooting and hurting the sergeant, told us his son had been experiencing unwanted attention from Gibson and had been for more than a year.
I know that he told his chain of command, did tell his lieutenant.
We uncovered this memo from Interim Police Chief Anthony Dahlman requesting Sergeant Gibson be placed on paid leave pending an internal affairs investigation. It says, quote, Sergeant Gibson was involved in an incident in January in which he was seriously injured. An allegation of misconduct has since been received via a third-party report. The memo is dated April 10th. That's 5 days after our story aired and 2.5 months after the shooting. The department tells us that prior to this memo, Gibson was on sick leave. In the fall of 2022, the department brought in outside organizations to assess the department's work environment. 3 of the reports mentioned low trust in leadership. Multiple officers interviewed cited bullying within the department and a fear of retaliation for speaking up. Rusk's dad says he believes this is a big part of what his son experienced with Sergeant Gibson.
Chris was his only avenue to special teams. He was in the perfect position to take example of an extremely young, fledgling adult.
Assistant County Administrator Bradley Reinheimer sent us this statement about the reports, saying they, quote, resulted in salary increases, meetings with the county administrator, and outside consultants being brought in. We are confident that we have resolved many of the issues raised and are continuing to work to resolve any outstanding issues. The department also pointed out that the chief of police retired in December after those reports came out, and that they are planning to hire a permanent police chief in the coming weeks. Sergeant Gibson remains on paid administrative leave. Officer Rusk is currently on unpaid leave and is scheduled to be back in court next month. I'm Julie Millay, 10 on Your Side.